Good morning and welcome to our weekly briefing. My name is Tanya Witherspoon, Director of Commercial Ventures and Applied Innovation here at Wichita State. These weekly briefings are being held in an effort to keep the campus and the public better informed as to the changes occurring at Wichita State University. Thank you all for joining us during this holiday week as we return from our 4th of July celebrations. I'd like to take a moment to give a shout out to all the people who fight for our country and our freedom. Right here on campus, big things are happening for veterans, including a solidified partnership with the Department of Veteran Affairs that will allow us to offer campus services directly from the VA staff, including disability, mental health, vocational rehabilitation, and education benefits. In addition, we've submitted a request for a proposal to McConnell Air Force Base to provide 7 new on-site degree programs through WSU Tech. We'll let everyone know once this information is available in more detail. July 1 was the beginning of a new fiscal year for us here at Wichita State, as well as the first-year anniversary of joining the American Athletic Conference. Go Shocks! Also new this year is our affiliation with WSU Tech, formerly known as Wichita Area Technical College. A little background on WSU Tech. While WSU remains a separate degree granting institution, the affiliation now allows for more collaborative possibilities between us and WSU Tech, as well as more availability and quality of the opportunities for our students. We're doing this all while directly meeting the core workforce needs of the state. There will be plenty more to learn about WSU Tech going forward. Starting with July 12th, we're holding an open house at 4004 North Webb Road. The event starts with a ribbon cutting ceremony at 2:45 in the afternoon, and then from 3 to 7, we have open house for tours, demos, scholarship giveaways, and free food. Everyone is welcome to attend, and there are no reservations required, so we hope to see you there. We will also get a chance to hear from WSU Tech President Sherry Utesh during our July 12th briefing, so stay tuned for more information from her soon. We are very excited on the progress of the new Partnership 2 building that we refer to as P2 here on campus. This building is located just north of the Experiential Engineering Building. In addition to a new space for the College of Engineering Dean's Office, there's also room for the Student Success Center on the first floor. The Success Center supports students as they enter the College of Engineering and work towards their undergraduate degree. The new location was recently opened as a response to recent growth in the college. The space includes the Geeks Tutoring Program, a classroom with a kitchen available to host lunch and learns with industry, and office space and meeting rooms for student organizations and staff. The timing of this new space is perfect as the Geeks program has outgrown their current location, but also as ECCS has added additional students and more support programs to support our engineers. The new location also brings all these students closer to industry and the industry professionals that are working in our partner buildings on Innovation Campus. 2 businesses that are also preparing to move into our PT building are Spirit Aerosystems and FirePoint Innovation Center. Spirit is leasing space in the building and will focus its joint research partnership with Wichita State on applied learning opportunities for our students and joint strategic research projects and improved workforce training that will help us meet growing demands in the aerospace industry. FirePoint came through a partnership WSU signed with the U.S. Army Aviation and Missile Research, Development, and Engineering Center. The partnership, which is managed by FirePoint, is a 2-year effort that fosters new research and development collaborations with the goal to advance military technology and move it more quickly into the hands of Army users. As with all of our industry partnerships here at Wichita State, the work done with this initiative offers outstanding applied learning opportunities for our students. Back in 2012, recognizing the need for an increase in the number of engineering graduates in our state, the Kansas Board of Regents started the University Engineering Initiative Act. WSU, along with KU and K-State, have received funding from the legislature to ensure engineering industry partners find the new talent, designs, and techniques needed to fuel this growth. Each university also co-matches this legislative investment. The goal is that through increased enrollment and better connections for students at critical stages with Kansas companies and increased opportunities for scholarships and internships, our 3 universities will increase undergraduate engineering degrees to 1,365 annually by the year 2021. At WSU, we have made a lot of progress towards these goals. Specifically, the College of Engineering awarded 345 bachelor's degrees in this past academic year, reaching more than 95% of the goal established by the initiative. So we're well on our way. But we can do so much more. Wichita is an engineering hotbed. We have the 3rd most engineers per capita in the country, only behind San Jose and Houston. We're remaining committed to educating and placing engineering graduates locally through our work with industry, and it's critical that we do everything in our power to make sure our future engineers are job ready, which is why we focus on applied learning with our industry partners. As higher education evolves, the traditional notion of a college education as an 18 to 20-year-old educated for 4 years and then sent into society is changing. One of our biggest responsibilities as a university, especially one situated in the middle of a metropolitan area, is to provide continuous learning to everyone, no matter their age, income, or experience. One of the things you'll hear us talk a lot about are badges. We're incredibly proud of our ability to offer online badges for those people already in the workforce. They are not for students already seeking their degrees. These badges are designed for working professionals who need or want to continue learning new skills and technologies to keep up with the needs of their employers. The self-directed online courses allow students to go at their own pace each semester. Badges are worth half a credit each, and when coursework is completed, it appears on the student's WSU transcript. In just 1 year, we're seeing great results. The badges we offer grew from 42 last fall to 64 opportunities this coming fall. This is all part of the progress of continuous education to meet the community's workforce needs. We're confident that these badges can make a huge difference in the lives of people who want or need to continue their education but have limited time to do so. We plan to talk more about continuous education in a future briefing, so please stay tuned. And at this time, I'd like to ask Tim Hart, our Director of Web and New Media for Strategic Communications, to share information on the new WSU website, which includes a new public information site.
Thank you, Tanya, and good morning. We are mere days away now from the launch of a brand new wichita.edu, the official website of Wichita State University. And I'm going to show you that site in a minute, but first I did want to say this process has been a months-long process working in collaboration with hundreds of people across this university. We've met with faculty members, with administrators, students of all types, prospective students and their parents in focus groups and design sessions to really try to get at the heart of what this website needed to be. And as part of that spirit of collaboration, I did want to single out 2 groups. The Media Resources Center, led by John Jones, who I see here in the audience, and Information Technology Services have been with us in a core collaboration in decision-making from the very beginning. And without them, we wouldn't be able to have the site that we're going to show you in a minute. So without further ado, see if I can get to the home page. All right. That's not the right one. Hold on. Tell me when we're there. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. The old-fashioned way. All right, so the homepage, the overarching goal of the homepage is to speak more directly to prospective students and their parents. The current website has more than 70 navigation points on it. Very few of those are actually targeted toward prospective students, the audience that we really need to talk to from a marketing standpoint. So what you're going to see here is a very streamlined approach. We've gotten all of the links, all of the information out of the way of the prospective students so that we can speak to them more directly. One of the ways we do that is with video. Video is going to play a huge role in the site going forward. This is a lead video that is on a loop. Will allow us to show lots of different aspects of Wichita State, the things that we think are important, things like applied learning, innovation, research, as well as the usual student life, showing the campus, the beauty of our campus, and as you see, Wu there, more of the student life related to athletics. The second part of the site actually just concentrates on the links that are most important to prospectives and their parents. That's majors and programs, and we have a great new interface for majors and programs that's going to actually give a dedicated page, actual web page for each major, each minor, each certificate, each graduate degree. That will allow us to highlight the strengths of those programs individually instead of just sending somebody off to a program or department web page. But it will also allow us to tell some stories. And again, video will play a role there. If we have student success stories, if we have achievements that those departments are making that relate to the degrees, we'll be able to include that. And more importantly, those things will be able to be indexed in search. So we think a lot of students will actually, searching for degrees, will actually arrive at our site through these pages. We also have, as you can see, an interactive campus map that's brand new. We'll be launching with the site, and I'll show that in a minute. And then the cost calculator and visit links. As we move down, we've got our news feature, which is currently prominent on our site, but we're taking that down to the third level, and it'll be different in mix than the site that we currently have, in that these are going to be stories and events from the calendar that we curate specifically for, again, that prospective student audience, getting things out of their way, showing them what we think is important. There is a fast facts section here where we're going to show some of our better statistical plaudits that we can get rotating in on this space. It will link out to a page that actually shows a lot more about Wichita State and our excellence at a variety of areas. So that will come there. And that's it. We're at the footer. That's the whole front page. So very, very streamlined compared to what we have now. One of the things that we really want to talk about at Wichita State is applied learning. And in this main space, you see that we have a link to our innovative approach here, where classroom and real world collide. And that is a new feature that we don't have on our current site. It's called our Applied Learning Hub. Again, leading off with video. And we're thinking of this as, first of all, marketing to prospective students again, but also further down the page, we're also talking to two other very important cohorts, and one would be current students that need to know how to get access to the Career Development Center's services. And as we go down, also, we want to talk to employers in the business community. So this will link to a set of pages that talks about ways that the business community and industry can interface with Wichita State through research, through hiring shockers, to partnerships. So that is another very important feature there. The third thing, and Tanya mentioned this, we'll have a new public information site launching. That will include, first of all, a lot of the documents and data that are most requested will be available for quick download right there. We'll also have a new feature called Trending Topics that will outline a lot of the issues and topics that are of import to the WSU community, and we intend to populate those with background with related documents that can be downloaded, as well as images if necessary, for instance, with renderings of buildings that might be coming up. We'll also have an open records request feature on there. So there will be a way to establish an official open records request. And once those are received and processed, there will be a log of those requests such that anyone can see what's been requested. So we're looking forward to getting that out to everyone in the future here. One last thing I want to talk about, and that is our campus map. One of the big thrusts of Wichita State marketing right now is looking further afield than Kansas. We have the I-35 corridor strategy where we're attempting to capitalize on some markets in Texas and Oklahoma. And for those students, they're not probably going to just on a flyer drive up here to see our campus. We want them to see that campus because if we can get them here, we usually land them. And so this new map is part of a two-pronged strategy. One, the map, which obviously shows in great detail, mouse here, the features of campus. And you can even go in further and see very finely rendered detail on buildings. This is obviously going to be a big thing with wayfinding because when we click on the items here, we get information and images, but also directions. So we can have walking directions on GPS-enabled devices to any building or any parking lot if you need to have an event and get somebody there. And then over here on the layers, we're able to show a lot of different aspects. We're working with Grady Landrum. We're going to try to get all the ADA accessible entrances marked on this map. We're working with buildings, services to get any construction that's going on. We can, in almost real time, indicate road closures or things that are under construction. So those are items that we'll have on this map. In addition to that, we have virtual reality tour that actually is going to be an admissions tour with audio that will run you through, and these are 360 panoramas. And this is what happens when the guy that let you up on the roof didn't hide in time. You go get Wichita or go get Wooshock and drop him on there. So this is a 10-stop admissions tour. And this platform allows us to create additional tours as well that will be able to show a lot of different aspects. So we're envisioning you take the admissions tour, and then you're asked, do you want to see a tour of engineering facilities or fine arts facilities? Anything is possible. We can build whatever we need to there. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Tanya. Oh, man, let me get you back where you were.
Thank you, Tim. There we go. That looks really exciting. I can't wait for the new information, but that interactive map with the driving tours and all, I've been on campus for more years than I'd care to say, and I still am looking for new things because of all the changes. So that is really, really, really great. So at this time, this is the end of our update. If there are any questions, I would like to take those at this time. And if I cannot answer them, Lainey Mazzullo, Director of News and Media Relations, will follow up after this briefing. Depending on the question, Lainey will either get back to you with an answer or direct you to the person who can best answer your question. So please make sure she has your contact information. Are there any questions?
When does the new website go live?
That is best answered by Tim. So let me rephrase that question so that our streaming audience can hear. When does the new website come live?
Yeah, we are within a few days of launch. There are some, because we're in an enrollment cycle, there are certain aspects of the site that have to be working perfectly. Not all, but certain ones do. And so I think that's going to determine when we go
So Tim's answer is, in just a matter of a few days to a week or so, they're doing some final changes and updates, and that should be coming soon. So I'm sure that at our next briefing, we'll continue to discuss that. Yes, Betty?
I have some questions for Tim as well.
Okay.
If he wants to come.
Yeah, I think Tim should come forward. He has such exciting news. I would hope you guys would have some questions, so.
So Tim, I'm very excited. It looks great, but I have a couple questions related to current students. How hard will it be for current and or faculty to help current students to find information? I mean, simple things like the academic calendar,
Yeah.
resources.
So
Repeat the question.
she's asking about features for current students. How difficult will it be for them to find the things that they need on the website? And the way we've handled this is with this quick links area right up here. This is going to have all of those things very simply displayed, a lot of the things that you talked about. So it's there, it's just not forward, it's just one click away. We also have a search module with this that's different than the current Google search that we use, that's really going to allow us to fine-tune on search results and get people to the things that they were intended to get to. And that will be something that will actually be predictive in a way that the current search is not. So as you're typing admissions, it'll give you suggestions that'll pop up right away. And if you call something a different term that we don't use, like if you were actually looking for biological sciences, but you're typing biology, we'll be able to key match that one so that it shows up right away. So there'll be lots of ways to streamline the way that people get to information.
The other question I have is really related to those of us over the age of 20. I noticed in some of the sites that are updated that it's difficult to print information. It's all linked. Are some key sources, like, for example, the map? Will there be a map that you could print off?
Yes, the map actually, the question is about printing information off of the website. And the map actually has a little print icon on it, and any view that you pick, you can click print and not only print that view, but also select what things you want to show up on that map. So printing should be perfect for that feature. We also are developing print style sheets for certain high value properties, such that you don't get the layout of the web page when you print, but you actually get something that's optimized for print. Okay? Yeah.
With regard to the public information page, what type of documents will be available? Is that driven by student demand? And then also, who's maintaining the page? What do you hope to achieve by making more information available for you?
Yeah, well, we want to be transparent. That's the main thing. And so strategic communications will be working with the general counsel's office to kind of administer that site. And the first question you had, I'm sorry, was?
Just what documents will be available,
right.
And then who determines what's words?
Well, we're calling it frequently requested documents. So the question is, what documents will be available on the public information site? We're kind of trying to get a sense of what is being requested. And those are the links. If we have those readily available in a format that can be provided on the web, those would be things that we link there. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, as far as the decisions about what things are there, I think that would probably be general counsel's office. Right? Anything else? All right, thanks.
Thank you, Tim. So are there any other questions that I can answer at this time? Okay, if there are no more questions at this time, I just want, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Yes.
About the batch courses, I
Sure.
just have a general question as to why they're worth a half credit hour when we're aiming towards students that are specifically non-degree seeking. Like, what is the benefit of awarding a credit hour value to that, other than that they can have towards the goal?
Yeah, so I just want to give the link to the badges site so that you can look for more information. It's wichita.edu/badges, so it'll give you everything. But the courses are meant for people that are non-degree seeking, okay? So they're definitely meant for people probably already with a job or, you know, other kinds of constraints on their time. So the half credit is the micro piece that can be stacked into multiple credits at a time, but what we tried to do is break them down into the smallest chunk possible. So a half a credit is about the smallest chunk that we can actually designate and give credit for. Why are you getting credit? Because even after you earn a degree, continuous education and lifelong learning is necessary, and it's very, very good that we document these things and to have that listed on your transcript, so as you progress in your career, you can continue to show, you know, what you're learning, where you're learning it at, and when you're learning it. Did that answer your question? The question was why are badges a half a credit, and what are the purpose of badges? So again, wichita.edu/badges is a great site that gives you much more information and also the ability to enroll in a badge if that's something you'd like. Any other questions? Nope. Okay, well then that concludes our briefing this morning. I just want to remind everyone that the reason why we hold these briefings is to open the lines of communication regarding matters that are important to our vision to be internationally recognized as the model for applied learning and research, and our mission to be essential educational, cultural, and economic driver for Kansas and the public good. Thank you for coming. The next briefing will be held at 10 a.m. next Thursday here in the same place, the Marcus Welcome Center, and we hope you will tune in, or visit us and bring your questions at that time. Thank you.